afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis, hence the name of my channel, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. 4 years ago, I was asked to come up with a series of videos that were filmed inexpensively. We don't use digital cameras, we don't use fluid head tripods, we don't use shotgun microphones, we wear tatty shirts, we just use a phone. But we look at cars that you can buy for a budget up to £1,000 only, and we very much enjoy ourselves. These are cars that might be in cosmetically bad condition. You might see oil leaks, rattly dashboards and cosmetic imperfections, but we go all over the country and we find these very inexpensive cars that you all seem to enjoy watching. Well, viewers, we don't often revisit cars that we filmed before on my channel. We might look at slightly different versions of cars we've already filmed, but this is the first time that we've actually come across exactly the same car that I'm doing another video on. And it is this 1999 Renault Megane 1.6 RN Liberté Classic. It's owned by Mr. Bill of the Fuel Power channel. One of the reasons I'm filming this car again, I mean, it has been 3.5 years since I filmed it. First time was April 2021. But also the car's had a lot of changes made to it since I first came across it. One of the things straight away that you'll see if you're familiar with that video, I know a lot of you won't be because it was such a long time ago, is that the sides of the car at the rear have been completely changed and resprayed. It looks completely different now. Megane Classics do rust around the rear arches, and this has been completely fixed now. New panels, new paint. Other thing is the rear axle has been completely changed. That had actually failed in 2022. And the other thing is the front suspension has been changed as well. Car drives completely differently now from what it did. Megane Classic was sold between 1996 and 2003. I think it did overlap a little bit with the Mark II Megane saloon. Quite rare cars, even when they were new. Very, very rare now. We think there are about 20 to 25 of these left on the road in this country. And in the case of the special edition Liberté model, there's not many at all. You could get it in a hatchback or a saloon. This is a more expensive one. They cost $10,995 on the road without options. This car has some options on it, so it would have been a little bit more, but there was a discount actually offered to Mr. Bill's father, who bought this car brand new, so it's been in the family for 25 years. Look in the boot. Very, very large boot in this car. You actually could fold the seats. They fold as one piece, so they aren't you know, maybe the most practical things. You could buy a Megane estate in some countries on the Mark Ones. You couldn't over here. Instead, you'd be buying a Cynic, as the French say. Which you know, is more practical than this, but actually this is also pretty good. If you lift this up here, you can see we've got a storage tray there. The spare wheel's just there. I'm not going to move all the stuff out of the way to show it to you, but it is there. I think the boot's about 500 litres, which in a sort of family-sized car like this is you know, a lot. So yeah, an unusual looking thing really. The small saloon market is pretty much dead in this country now. The last normal car sold in this segment was the Mazda 3 saloon. We're not talking about stuff like the Mercedes A-Class saloon, which you know, which is a different market segment really. We're talking about things like this, and I kind of miss that. I like you know, saloons like this. I've owned several of them, and you know, I think they are a nice traditional looking car for a lot of people. So this has the 1.6 K-type engine, which was actually used in cars in this country until 2019 in the Dacia Duster. This is a pre-facelift car, late pre-facelift. Facelift occurred April 99. This is a January 1999, and as I said, it's the special edition. Mr. Bill has put some little tricolor, little stripes down there. You can see underneath the front bumper. But actually, most of the paint is original on this car. It's just the sort of rear sides that have been painted. And we've got some original wheel trims on the car now. The ones on the car in 2021 were not the original wheel trims. These have actually been put on the car, and they look fantastic, actually. It's good to see something as entirely standard as this. Some people would say put a clear Williams engine here, I think it's called the F7R engine, which you can do. It's a a car that was available with the 8-valve version of that 2-litre engine as well, so it's not too much of a swap. But so far, this car is going to be kept entirely standard, which is the way I would do it personally as well. Mileage actually on this car is quite high. It's 160,000 now. It doesn't look at this. The driver's seat's in really nice condition considering the age and the mileage of the car. We're talking about a car that's over 25 years old. So let's get in here and put the key in. We can see we've actually got some interesting spec choices. So this car is the ABS and aircon model of the Liberté. You had to pay extra to those things. But there we go. Not the most kind of stuff on here. We haven't got electric windows. We haven't got electric mirrors. We haven't even got central locking in this car. We do have an airbag, and we do have the air conditioning, which was optional on the car. We also don't have a passenger airbag. That was also an option. So yeah, it's quite a basic spec. I mean, I prefer the RXE model, which you get the 2-litre engine in, personally. But this is fine actually. It's quite a lively car considering it's only got 90 horsepower. The horn is on here, which I won't use to disturb the neighbours, particularly to alert the fact that I'm parked in a place where it says no parking, 24-hour access required. I don't think anybody's going to come along down here, but it's better not do that. Let's see if these secret mission documents actually fit in here. Unlike a lot of the modern French cars, the glove box is actually quite big and the fuse box has been moved. So secret mission document test is passed, which is good. It's got some soft touch plastic on top of the dash. It's quite good. We haven't got a rev counter either in here. A lot of you will be thinking though, this is amazing. Like, look at this very basic plastic steering wheel and the fact that we've got windy windows and we haven't got electric mirrors and everything like that, and you think this is incredible. And well, I suppose it is. I mean, I have a preference for luxury, but there we go. A Megane Classic is such a rare car now that it doesn't really matter, does it? And to have one that's been in the same family since new is just it's brilliant. Very comfortable seats. You can do very high margin here. Also, just enough, just like on the old Renault 9s and 11s, you've got this remote control here for adjusting the stereo. This is obviously a replacement one from the original, and it's a bit more useful in modern conditions really, with USB and Bluetooth and things. Little cigarette lighter in there, or 12-volt socket. Yeah, you put your pen in there where the airbag would be. Not a lot else to say really apart from that. Very typical kind of Renault design. It says Renault all the time in there, or it would do if all the pixels worked. Would have originally shown the radio station and things that have original radio in it. But yeah, superb. Right, let's have a look in the back, because I think we've got some sort of more delights in there as well. Utterly delightful. We've got brochures, we've got a hat, we've got a little model of a Megane Classic there. Just to move one of the brochures up, or we might have a look at those in a second actually. And I'll also hold this up from Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel, because here is there we go. Find my channel there. We also got a QR code if you want to scan that as well to find out more about Mr. Bill and the channel. So there is the little model. That's actually an RXE rather than an RN Liberté. Got the hat, superb. And then we've got two brochures. One for the Liberté. That's the hatch. It was a 1.4. And then in here as well, we've got the Saloon Classic, which was 10,995 on the road. As you can see, passenger airbag optional. That is not the original steering wheel. There's the steering wheel. It's not one of those. That's for an RXE or something. And yeah, 10,995 on the road without options. You could get the 1-point corner focus. There we go. 1.4 and a 1.6. Also got a Megane Classic range of states from the summer of 1998. That's an RXE, by the way. They were only really, before the facelift in April 99, there were only really kind of 3 trim levels. That's an RXE with the alloy wheels, which is the nice one. Generally that was with the 2-litre engine. Then we've got the, more RXE here. So you could get The 2 litre with manual automatic transmission, and then an engine we don't talk about. More kind of typical sort of Renault interior from the 1990s. Also, the lower one was the RT, which still doesn't look very luxurious at all. You got things like electric windows and remote central locking, but you still got these wheel trims on it. And then at the bottom of the range, although they claim it was not, you know, exactly basic, but it is quite basic really, is the RN. Again, that steering wheel is wrong. That wouldn't have looked like that. Optional passenger airbag available with the 1.6 engine like this. 90 horsepower, 0 to 62 in 11.5 seconds, along with, you know, engines we can't talk about. So yeah, there you go. Very simple range there. 1.6 and 2 litre engines. You could get automatic transmission on 1.6 at some point as well as the 2 litre. There you go. Facelift models were a bit different. Right, I think we've covered most of it. It's very comfortable at the back of here. We don't get any head restraints, and we don't get a 3-point seat belt in the middle, unless you kind of put it together in a sort of DIY way like you would do on a Scenic. Not much else to say. No map pockets, no ashtray, no door pocket. Ashtrays here, no central ashtray, and just sort of this slush moulded plastic. Didn't break that. Excellent. Mr. Bill would not have been happy if I'd done that. Right. Okay, I think we've covered most of the things in here. No sunroof, no rear courtesy light. But I think a lot of you will find that fascinating. I certainly do. Let's take it out on the road then, shall we? After having a look at the engine. So here is the 1.6 Renault K-type engine, generating about 90 horsepower. It's I think a PS figure actually, just a little bit easier to use those because they come into nice round numbers with a Megane. Historic oil leak here. Apparently that's happened forever basically on this car. Looks a little bit of a 1.4, so I drove a 1.4 Megane from 1997, many years ago, and they look a little bit different on the top. I think the solenoids are different depending on whether you got a 1.4 or 1.6. Quite a reliable engine, to be honest. The cam belt covers just here, they're very simple to work on. Mr. Bill has coloured the strut brace in here, which is interesting. Again, the tricolor theme going on. But yeah, there's the oil filter just there. You know, not complicated cars to work on really at all, comparison with modern things. These do have different suspension for something like a Megane Coupe. I have driven one of those as well. It has the same engine. It belongs to Mr. Mark Parr from the Mark on Motoring channel. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. This is a much softer car, not really designed for sporty driving, and which we'll see as we go out for a little spin right now. So viewers, this is No Budget Revisited. I've put on my special tie, which was given to me recently by Jerry, who owned the De Nibira, and that is his little car group that he has. So, No Budget Revisited of a special tie on. What is this Megane Classic like to drive? Well, considering the age and the mileage of the car, it feels quite sprightly. This engine is a K-type engine, sort of loosely based, I think, on the old Clermont engine, used in things like the Renault 19 and Claire originally, and then by 1999 used in this Megane Classic. You could also get a more powerful engine, Renault F-type engine with 8-valve, a cylinder head on the free facelift cars, generating 115 horsepower. After the facelift in April 1999, the engine's completely changed. The base engine was a 1.4 K-type 16-valve with 95 horsepower, followed by a 1.6 16-valve K-type 110 horsepower. Top of the range actually was not a 2 litre, it was a 1.8 with 120 horsepower and a 16-valve head. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. It's a very easy car to drive this. I mean, it's quite basic specification, but there is power steering. The gearbox is surprisingly slick for such a high mileage car, 130 59,000 miles it's showing here. Brakes feel good. This car does have ABS, which is an option. It's much better to drive than it was originally. That was a bit too squishy and soft and rigid, and then of course the rear axle actually failed in this, so you know, but this feels good with the new suspension in it. Gearbox, I'm surprised it actually feels as nice as it does. The Renault gearbox has not been particularly good, but there we go. Based of course on the same platform as Renault 19 and with some elements of the old 911. The Mark 1 Megane had so many variants, the Scenic and the Estate in some markets, and then the 3-door hatch and the 3-door coupe, the 5-door hatch and the cabrio. So many variants on this platform. It's very pleasant, very easy, you know, 0 to 60 about 11.5 seconds. It's not the fastest car in the world. It actually pulls really well with this 8-valve engine, which was the base engine offered on the Classic. Yeah, it actually feels quite urgent. It's very easy to just make some good progress. The suspension is still soft, which of course is normal for a car like this. It feels really good. It's very kind of relaxing and comfortable, and you can do very long journeys in this. I think probably about no more problems. I think you can even run this on E10, which is good. Yeah, very pleasant. I'm actually quite impressed with this car. Right, viewers, let's have a look at some trim levels of the Renault Megane Classic. So, base one was the RN, and then special edition was this RN Liberté, the RT, the RT Alizé, the RXE. After the facelift, which was April 1999, the trim levels were renamed to Alizé, Expression Plus, Privilège, and Privilège Plus. There was also a special edition RT Sport at some stage, which I think had the 2-litre engine. So viewers, should you consider a Renault Megane Classic? Well, there's not many of these left, to be honest, viewers. I mean, if you're Mr. Bill and this car's been in your family for 25 years, then, well, you know, you hold on to it and you improve it like he has with this one. Rest of you, I don't know. That's sort of up to you. I quite enjoy this. I prefer, you know, a nice high specification facelifted model if it were me. But this is wonderful. It's fantastic, regardless of that. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.